In the midst of all this, only now have I just started thinking about what class I'm going to be doing for my class in session video tomorrow. I really shouldn't be thinking that far ahead. I mean, I have video to do right now, don't I? Right. So, let's see. My low yesterday. Well, I actually got up particularly early yesterday, but there was a good reason for it. And that leads into both my high and my act of kindness, actually. And, well, first thing I do the act of kindness because one actually leads right into the other. And that is, a while ago, my mother told me that, she wanted me to wash my bed sheets and comforter, which she did, but she took my comforter over to the dry cleaners. And when I say a while ago, I mean this was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And for that long, I did not have any comforter at all. I mean, worst case scenario, I do have a sleeping bag, and that works fine. Hey, listen, I improvise under stress, okay? And not that it was particularly, but there was like maybe 1, maybe 2 nights where it was like really, really cold, and I'm like, ugh, I need that comforter. So yesterday morning, as soon as the cleaners opened, it's Castle Cleaners in Elmira, I got there really early. Like they opened like right at 7. I think I got there at like 7:05, maybe 10 after. It was pretty early, I think. And I got both my comforter and I got my parents' comforter because my mother did theirs as well. And I took that comforter to, my parents' house yesterday morning. And actually, I should probably stress one thing. It's not like I spent like every single night above covers. I wouldn't do that. It's actually not necessarily a good thing for you to go to bed without any covers on, or at least any sheets, which I always was. But honestly, a comforter last night really made all the difference. It feels like you're inside of a mommy kangaroo, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Ugh, I miss my mommy kangaroo. You know what it's like? Like, it's the equivalent of like, and some girls actually know this because a friend of mine has done this before. Like, they have like a super giant extra large shirt that like they tuck their knees and their entire body under. That's what it feels like for me, It's awesome. And, yeah. So needless to say, my high was, my mother thanking me, and I was able to talk to my mother for a little bit. So that was great. We talked over the phone last night, and everything was wonderful. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about the fact that another part of my low is that the Seahawks won. Man. I actually did look at the stats. Kyler Murray legitimately did outplay Russell Wilson. I guess Russell Wilson's team just had the better night. Whatever. Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday. It's actually the Friday before Thanksgiving. And I've actually been very quiet about this, but Animaniacs reboot just came out. I haven't seen anything yet, partly because I'm not subscribed or paying money for Hulu. But I'll let you know how it is after I watch it, because I really do want to talk about the show, because I really should talk about Animaniacs as a whole. See, growing up, I mean, the very first, cartoons I ever saw were the Looney Tunes. This is back when Nickelodeon was popular, and, for whatever reason, you could find Looney Tunes on Nickelodeon. Okay. And my father has seen them all. Even ones that you don't see anymore because they're technically racially insensitive. But he's seen them all. He told me and my brother about them all. And needless to say, he's a huge Bugs Bunny fan. And I gotta say, if I were to pick a Looney Tune to be a fan of, I would say Bugs Bunny too. My brother would be Daffy. Anyway, seriously, years ago, my brother and I got these, little soup bowls that kind of look like really flat mugs, this thick, but, there's a little mug handle at the end of it. Mine had Bugs Bunny on it, and my brother's had Daffy. I guess that works. I don't know. So, I've been a very big fan of animation and cartoons from a very early age. But one thing I seem to have noticed, I have seen a lot in those old cartoons, is like the main character, while we're supposed to be rooting for him, is also kind of annoying the bad guy. And that's something I can never get behind. I swear a lot of the Animaniacs cartoons were exactly like that. That being said, though, looking back at them, I know why they're funny, and I do genuinely laugh at them. But never did I ever think, like, I would appreciate them as much as I do now, you know? I mean, I did like them, and if any were on, I'm like, sure, I'll watch. But over the years, Animaniacs has had just such a gigantic cult following. So much so that it did inspire this reboot to be made with the original voice cast, which, you guys know me, I'm a huge voiceover junkie. You know, they got Rob Paulson to be Yakko and Pinky again. They got Jess Harnell to be Wacko. They got Tress MacNeille to be Dot. They got Maurice LaMarche to be the Brain. And I'm sure there's lots of other voiceover actors from those days that are back too. I do believe I saw Jeff Bennett at some point in one of the Animaniacs Survival photos. So, maybe. That should be interesting. So, I'll have to let you guys know how it is. But I am looking forward to seeing you whenever I get an opportunity to do so. So, with that taken care of and out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. We had a new episode of Howlins yesterday, which featured The Undertaker from, the WWE. And maybe this is because I didn't pay as much attention to wrestling as I should have, but The Undertaker's had a reputation for, hardly ever breaking his character. For over the span of 30 years. In fact, it's only through this documentary that is being aired, I think, on Netflix, It's streaming somewhere. But it's only through this documentary that's coming out involving The Undertaker where you get to really see what he's like. And some of the questions that Sean Evans was asking is how was it to, be that character for that long? Or being on Regis and back when it was Kathy Lee Gifford. Man, that was a long time ago. I actually remember that show existing. Rest in peace, Regis Philbin. Anyway, and The Undertaker just explaining all these things it was completely miserable because he really did want to break character sometimes, but he had to keep up appearances. He actually got injured walking out onto the wrestling stage via pyrotechnics, and he still maintained his composure. That is dedication, my friend. That is a lot more than what I could ever hope to do. So, needless to say, if this last outing for The Undertaker coming up is the last one, then you know what? He's earned it. He is. His career has lasted over 30 years. And again, he's hardly ever broken character. Plus, you actually did learn a lot about, you saw when he did explain that at Graham, it's basically, the theme was The Undertaker with past Hot Ones guests. There was one with Post Malone, one with fellow Texas boy Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, The Undertaker's actually from Texas. That was really cool. And, they're just talking and stuff. It was really great. And that's actually another thing. I've said this many times when talking about Hot Ones. Whenever it's a celebrity that I don't know, or I barely know anything, or I barely know about in this case, because I did know a little bit about The Undertaker, but not to an insane degree compared to someone like McConaughey that I remember, that I legitimately knew and stuff. It's always nice to learn more about these people. So, you tend to like to see them more. You want to root for them more. The best iteration of this is the Billie Eilish episode, which I do believe The Undertaker had a photo with, I think. I gotta watch the episode again because there was like several Hot Ones guests and he was around. Anyway, well, like I had no idea who this person was, but after watching the Hot Ones episode and learning more about them, I'm like, okay, I learned more about them. I know them a little bit better. Okay, that's actually why Hot Ones is such a great show. Like I don't want to quite say it's my favorite yet. I will say, because let's be honest, when it comes to things I've seen for years and years and years, I can think of several off the top of my head, be they an anime or a show or even a YouTube channel. I mean, Day 994 way back when was, easily me talking about Chuck Conroy, who's easily the person I've easily seen the most on the internet, in my entire life. Quite literally. Actually, I think Chuck Conroy might actually be my age. And yes, I know he has a real name. I'm just going to call him Chuck Conroy because that's what the entire YouTube community knows him as. And that's what I will respectfully call him as well. Yeah. Just a really great episode yesterday. Another really great thing that happened yesterday was Totally Not Mark came out with his final One Piece Thoughts video, at least until Act 3 is over, where he did chapters 956 to 975, which, for starters, he definitely picked a chapter to end it off on. Although, granted, if you wait one more chapter, you get to see the return of Jinbei. Spoilers, by the way. Right. I mean, you guys have seen my thoughts on those chapters for the most part. I think it was like 9:59 when I started doing the One Piece reaction videos. But for the most part, you guys, those videos are online for you guys to see. You shouldn't have a problem finding them or whatever. Looking back on it all, like, if Wano is doing the traditional Joe Hakyu sort of style of Japanese theater act structure, then the Odin flashback might very well have been like the tragedy that takes place in Act 3. Because I remember it was the darkest just before the dawn. Although, with several chapters to go until supposedly Act 3 is over, it is going to be difficult to see when Act 3 ends and when Act 4 begins. Although, how is that going to work? Will it be Act 3, a somewhat preliminary chapter before Act 4, and then we get into Act 4? Or will Act 3 just go immediately into Act 4? I don't know. We'll have to see. I still can't wait, though. From what I heard, there's a chapter this upcoming week. There's no break next week, so we'll have chapter 997 right before December. And if all goes according to plan, we may very well see chapter 1000 on the day I turn 31. Well, it'll probably be out the day before I turn 31, but I'll do the reaction video on my birthday. Actually, that would be the most fitting and appropriate. Honestly, if chapter 1000 came out before the end of 2020, I think it would actually make all this struggle that 2020 has been worth it. Well, maybe. Let's be honest, you're going to have some die-hard skeptics out there believing that, 2020 was a complete bust of a year and nothing will ever fix it, which I wouldn't blame you if you thought that. There's things about this whole year that have been completely awful for me. But I actually once saw this post a while ago, and it honestly made sense for what it said. It said 2020 isn't the year for you to get what you deserve, or to get what you want. But it's definitely a year where you're supposed to grow to appreciate the things that you have. And looking back on it, having started this whole year with the resolution of wanting to be adventurous more with, drinking. Because I don't really drink, but, I want to expand my horizons a little bit. And of course I would be responsible. And being with my family more, while I really couldn't do much of the former, I did a heck of a ton with the latter. Stupidly so with the latter. Although it does beg the question what my New Year's resolution will be next year. Well, I have an idea. I mean, full disclosure, right now it's probably going to be just continue to do what I'm doing in terms of at least being with my family. As that would be a very appropriate thing to do. But we'll have to see. It'll definitely be quite interesting going forward. Like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on social media platforms. Turn on notifications on YouTube. I'm very humbled to make this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. And hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. I'll be back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.